Pavlov.
Damn you, Pavlov.
I forgot how sick this sounds slow. But we ain't got time for that. Would you guys be mad? Would you be mad if I got some coffee real quick?
I don't care.
All right, be right back. Chill us out on your socials.
If you're listening, like and subscribe. We're only 14 people, 14 subscriptions away from 500. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/TheBinNetwork, and become a patron. You'll get all the fame in the world. I don't know if I can make that claim. Also, watch our other shows. We do shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes other days. Unbox Politics is Thursday nights around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8 p.m. Central for anyone who lives in that forsaken time zone. Mikey went to get coffee. He'll be back. But while you're here, leave a chat in the chat. Like and subscribe, like I said, because we're only 14 people away. We need 14 more subscriptions. Like the video. Hit all the buttons. What's going on, Scott, in the chat? Oh no, the music stopped. Now it's just me. It's only me. I'm all alone here. Mikey went to go get coffee, so I have to vamp. Hope he's not going to like Starbucks or something. Jeez, he could have got me some. Whatever. Like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're only 14 subscribers away from 500. Patreon.com/TheBinPodcast. Become a patron. Support the show. We like money too. We'll take any amount of money. $1, $1 million. It's all good. That's all I got. Till Mikey comes back. Where'd he go? Starbucks?
But let me put on my broadcasting hoodie. I don't want to do this.
It's too late now.
It's not even looping. I can't hear it.
No, the song stopped, so I was vamping.
I'm having problems. Okay, I got this. You're Mikey Famine. You can do anything.
Got this.
Except give a shit.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, fuck the blurb. Fuck. All right.
I don't know. I said like and subscribe like 10 times, so.
Okay. Well, everyone should be doing that. But
and I told them to give us money.
Notes list. We'll cut this in post. You know what I mean? Like,
do we have post? I don't think we have post anymore.
Someone will cut it in post.
Someone, not me.
From
This
Universal
Podcast
Studios
Network
Hollywood.
production is brought to you by our patrons, whose continued support keeps the lights on. So thank you, Ali Dutch, for Claire Vert. And as always, tons of mice. We love you to the moon and back. I'm Mikey Famine, and this is Tim Bristol.
That's me. That's the voice you've been hearing for the last few minutes without any sort of visual. So Mikey,
Yes.
before we get on to
Yes.
all, I'm sure what is and just horrifying things.
Mm-hmm.
You got some coffee,
I did.
and my banter for you today is what's your favorite coffee beverage?
Cold brew.
Cold brew?
Easy. Anything cold brew is the best to me. Give me the caffeine, dog. I want you to soak that water in coffee beans for like 3 days and then give me 4 ounces of it. And I am like a fucking rocket. Like they used to make me, the grocery store I used to work at, had a Starbucks in it. And,
Okay.
you know, when you're friends with everybody and you do time and attendance, people will do stuff for you. And they would like make me shit that wasn't on the menu. And I used to have cold brew frappuccinos. Bro. Number one, it should be on the menu, and they're stupid. Number two, them things had so much caffeine in it, it used to burn when I peed.
Oh my God.
Like, it was crazy. But that's the assistant manager life, you know?
That is the assistant manager life.
No breaks, just cigarettes and caffeine, please, and I'll eat when I get home. How about you, Tim?
Yeah.
What's your coffee beverage?
So I do love a good cold brew. I'm not gonna lie. My wife bought this like crazy ass fucking cold brew machine so we can make cold brew at home. And I didn't think much of it because it seemed like really cheap, and it was pretty cheap. It was like $50. But you put the water in and you put the ground coffee in. Like we got a grinder, so we grind our own coffee. And you let it do its thing.
For a hammer?
Yes. Smash. You put the water in, you put the coffee in, you let it do its thing for like 45 minutes, and then you have like a half a gallon of iced coffee.
Damn right.
But I would have to say my favorite coffee beverage is a cappuccino. I do like a cappuccino. Back when I was an assistant manager at a St. Louis
bread company. Yes.
Bread company. I called it the right thing this time.
Panera to the rest of you.
Panera Bread to the rest of you. Or Paradise Cafe.
Wow.
If any of those still exist. They taught me how to use the espresso machine as part of like my regular employee training. Like I had to make all the drinks. And
some OJT.
Once I learned how to make like a cappuccino and tried it a few times, I was like, this is the drink for me.
I've made my decision.
It's foamy. It's got coffee. It's got some cream in it. And like, it's just put a little bit of that nutmeg on top. And it's the elitist coffee drinker dream.
I've never seen a nutmeg tree, so I don't know how I feel about nutmeg.
Hey, I'm from the nutmeg state. I don't know why they call it that, but it's the nutmeg state.
Is it because you guys kick a soccer ball between people's legs? Just as a rule, people just walking down the street just like, ha, nutmeg, 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 just between the legs.
Sure. I don't have a better explanation for why Connecticut's the nutmeg state. So
Thank
if anyone in the chat has a better reason, let me know.
So until rectified, you are the soccer capital of Connecticut, of the nor'easters. Speaking of nor'easters, it's cold as shit. I'll double check the temperature, but it is like you Europeans don't even understand, dude.
It is 26 degrees outside my house right now,
Here,
and that's the high.
I don't want to show. Here, I'll show the one for Chicago. I don't want to give my address out. You don't need to know what city I'm in, you freaks. All right, here you go. Here's Celsius. You see that, y'all? While y'all over there complaining about your weather.
13 Celsius. That's cold.
Which is in freedom units, which we no longer have.
Freedom units. What's
a high temperature of 9 today?
Wow, a high temperature of 9. It was 9 as my low.
We're in that polar vortex shit.
Yeah, you're in that fucking. It's cold.
Dude, this
It's
shit
cold.
was supposed to stay in the Dakotas and be over with. But because global warming has fucked up all the air currents, now it pushes way across the Midwest. And it's shitty. And there's some fallout from that. Let's take a look at some of these here.
Break in Skokie causing extensive damage. We have team coverage from the ground and from above in CBS Skywatch. Our first alert meteorologists are timing out how long it will take for all of that ice to thaw. But we begin with investigator Tara Malone.
Forever.
Yeah, April. Motherfucker, what you talking about?
Forever. Mikey, how far are you from absolute zero? Like, what's your Kelvin?
Oh. 7 degrees to Kelvin? Okay. I'm 259 Kelvin.
All right, so you're okay. You're pretty far from absolute zero.
I mean, not really. Things get into the millions of Kelvin and the billions of Kelvin, and I'm only 259 above it. So, what's space? What's the temperature of space? Isn't it like like 10 Kelvin or something like that? Like I'm not.
Are you saying you're closer to absolute zero than you're not?
Yeah. Like I'm closer to 40 than not. Let me say hello to the chat. Hello, Scott. Air horn for Scott. Air horn for Diz. Progress only gets an air horn. Pole gets an air horn. Billy gets an air horn. I think that's it right now.
Now everyone who just got an air horn, like the show,
please. If you are air horned, you must hit the like button. If I point my air horn at you, you must press.
Morning, telling us with thousands impacted by this, there were.
Okay. This is the shot I needed right here. If you guys will notice, like that's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It looks like that's a little Fiat or is that a Beetle? I can't really tell.
Looks like it might be a Beetle.
But it's like halfway up the rims of all the cars. Most cars have 20-inch rims, so this is like 11 inches, 8 to 11 inches of just straight up cold ass mixed gray water being dirty water and rainwater.
Gross.
That's frozen, brother.
That's all frozen?
It flooded, and then the temperature got even colder, and it froze all of that stuff.
That's wild.
Like, what are you supposed to do if the entire street is a chunk of ice?
That obviously, you still got to go to work.
Get your ass in that fucking dog sled.
I don't care. Put on your ice skates and get to work.
Oh, ice cars.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people convert their like Volkswagen Beetle or like a Doom build, like a buggy. We just put snowmobile treads on the back of all of our cars, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you'd get out of the ice that your car is halfway into, but if put it on stilts.
Here's what you do: you pour salt all around your car.
Okay.
And I'm sure that won't hurt the car in any way.
For the demons. Correct.
For the demons. And hopefully that salt will melt the ice and not your car.
Yeah, you know, especially in the Midwest, like our vehicles really take a beating because we salt the roads and all that shit. And all that salt sits on your bare metal and shit like that and just rusts it. Rusts it to pieces.
No, that happens.
What if we parked on salt? Hold on. We get a big salt block and it's got a ramp on it and you drive up there.
Oh, there you go.
That way the ice can't get you. You're safe. Safe from the ice monsters.
Working with the Red Cross to provide shelter for the most.
I mean, come on, brother.
That's rough.
Serious cases.
And we appreciate the community's patience as we work to repair the issue and restore the drinking water supply.
Officials say they do not know if the emergency repair public works crews were making to a break in the air.
That's past his knees.
Look at Trees posted a YouTube short of a bike with saw blades as the tires, like a dirt bike with saw blades.
I'm clicking it. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Maybe this is... Hold on, what am I saying? This is not... Look at this. This is some Twisted Metal shit.
Right?
Oh my God, it works in grass. I guess it would. What? 4-wheeler? Oh my goodness. Who let them... He's cutting a tree.
Listen, it's a multi-purpose tool.
I guess.
Area yesterday afternoon.
Wait, that one happened in Chicago. Damn, that's both towns having similar... Yeah, dude.
Was connected to this one. Those crews at work until 2 a.m., just hours before this break was discovered.
So, and what a lot of these crews are doing, like, there's space for the water to go, but all the drains are filled with chunks of ice. So instead of it just gushing out of the neighborhood like it's supposed to from the water main break, it's all clogged up with the ice chunks. So these guys have to go out there with sticks and hip waders and keep clearing the ice out because, you know, there's a whole street of it.
I would like to draw attention to the little weather ticker at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday it was 26.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday it was 32.
Yes.
Sunday was, and then Monday it became 8 degrees.
And then Tuesday 7. Yes.
And you're not going to see above freezing again for, I assume, the next week.
No. But it's like this every year. It's right around last year it was in January. But yeah, this happens every year.
Certainly didn't leave the scene with the water event that we found ourselves confronting this morning. So I wouldn't expect that there's any correlation.
I asked officials a question we know is top of mind for...
Yeah, see, oh, there it was.
That there's any correlation.
Yeah.
I asked if...
See over here, I can't really zoom in, but over here on the right, that's the problem. Because these are neighborhoods, you know what I mean? So it's just like a regular neighborhood. It's only got like regular storm drains. Well, when the fucking water main breaks and puts ice boulders everywhere, these little ass baby ass storm drains can't fix it.
Officials a question we know is top of mind for so many here right now. Who bears responsibility here when it comes to paying for car and home damage?
The water company?
Fucking not it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Should work first with their insurance.
You know who could do the disaster relief for this?
Who's that?
FEMA.
No, dude, they're gonna take your farm, brother.
FEMA could pay damages for that. And also the fucking insurance companies who have insurance on for all this shit too.
And like, how do you prepare for a water main break?
Right. It's an act of God.
Act of God pipes.
Provider, because we don't know the particulars of those covers.
There's a good shot.
Orchard Shopping Center closed on Valentine's Day as a result of this, and the low and no water pressure. And the Skokie Public Library is closed, and a host of area schools went to either e-learning, modified their schedules.
Yo, this e-learning shit has got these kids tilted, brother.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine all these snow days? They're like, all right, everybody pull out your Chromebooks.
Yeah, everyone pull out your laptop. It's time to do e-learning. Fuck. I thought we were going to have a snow day.
Nah, y'all don't get snow days no more. Here's Southwest Detroit, same thing, but I think way worse.
Their top story on this.
A 54-inch water main break.
This Monday, a Southwest Detroit neighborhood flooded and frozen after a massive water main break overnight.
Neighbors waking up to find their basements, cars, and streets flooded. It's a story we've been following since we first got on scene this morning.
It's just drastic images to look at there. First responders rescuing dozens of people and their pets who were trapped in their homes by this rising water. And we want to give you an idea of just how large of an area this water main break impacted. The break occurring at Rowan and Beard. From there,
they had to take this picture in the middle of the summer. Look at all this green.
Yep.
The water spilling several blocks, and you can see the affected areas highlighted in red there. City officials saying today neighbors encountered upward of 5 feet of standing water.
So here's what we know about the break so far. It's a Great Lakes water.
Dude, just imagine, it just fills your basement up.
Yeah.
Just fill your basement up with water. Ice cold gray water.
Authority pipe. The break was in a 54-inch main that was built in the 1930s. So
remember when they were talking about Build Back Better?
And like
taking care of infrastructure and all that shit. Remember they were like harping AOC, and they were just like, we need to spend money on fixing shit.
There's your problem right there. Your pipes are 100 years old.
Tim, they're only 95 years old. You're always being so hyperbolic, you know? Those 5 years, we got 5 more years on those pipes.
They built those pipes during the fucking Great Depression. How well do you think those pipes are going to hold up?
They did build it in the Great Depression. And this is Detroit, by the way. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a small city. Detroit was pretty hopping back then. Scott says, good discussion with you. And her name is Brenna, not Jenna. She's going to beat you up, Scott. She will fly over there. Should have dragged Tim along, too.
It's funny you mentioned.
We have to tell Graham to unban Tim. He's banned Tim in the chat. And he doesn't know it's Tim. He thinks it's some troll. But it was Tim giving him a hard time, and he banned him. So funny.
Graham is way too loose with that ban hammer. I'm just saying.
It just fell right out of his hand and right on your face. It's crazy.
The water to the main has been isolated and the floodwaters have been receding throughout the day.
We have Team 7 coverage on this water main mess, including rescue efforts and why some people are choosing not to evacuate.
Yeah, but let's check in.
Yeah, because they're frozen in place.
Right.
Damages and people and pets stranded inside.
We've had 2 separate emergency crews come and knock on our doors. It's kind of crazy that they're just walking up and down our street with boats. Like, you don't think of...
crazy.
They're walking up and down the street, so they better be fucking ice cutters.
They got the ice knife boats that go to Antarctica. But that's what they do for these things. Like, the guys will be in hip waders and they'll drag along a dinghy with them and be like, all right, who needs rescuing?
Oh my God, it's got to be so cold.
Dude. But look, they have to get into the boat from their front door. Anyone need a rescue? Going into town. Anybody need a ride?
Stuff like this. You know.
What's your biggest concern as we're heading into degrees in the teens in the next couple days here?
Just the hopes that they can clean this up faster. It's not nice being pinned in.
This was a failure of a Detroit-built, GLEWA-maintained water main. That's the truth, and we're going to fix it.
The city says around 150 to 200 homes were impacted in the near square-mile radius after arriving on scene shortly after the first.
Some rich dude in Michigan's like, how do I put that dirty-ass water into Flint?
Phone calls came in at 2 a.m. Police spent the afternoon going door to door doing welfare checks on families. Crews working quickly to pump out water in the freezing temps.
The men and women at both GLEWA and DWSD, this is what they do. They work in frigid temperatures, they work on water main breaks, and they work well.
Yo, bro, you're going to need something more than a shovel, homie.
Slows us down. We won't be able to go as fast, but certainly they will get the job done.
The disaster, now the second major water main break in the city of Detroit.
So the concrete is buckled.
Well, that's what happens. That's what like the water main breaks and it breaks the pavement above it, and that's how the water comes out because the water pressure has to go somewhere.
Why doesn't it just go down the pipe? Maybe.
Well, because when the pipe breaks, it creates an obstruction in the pipe sometimes, so it just has nowhere to go but up.
It should not do that. It should just go down the pipe like a good boy.
Detroit this winter, does aging infrastructure play a role at all with the water main breaks that we're seeing in these cold snaps?
Absolutely, it plays a role. However, when it gets as cold as it is now and the frost line goes deeper into the ground and you simply have the ground shift.
Dude, it's like it looks like one of the Avengers landed right there.
Yeah.
Hero style.
And the pipes are in the ground, you can have a water main break.
Well, there you go.
She's dressed appropriately.
She's mad as hell. Hat. She mad as hell. She's like, y'all couldn't green screen me for this report.
I seen the Daily Show. You can do that shit.
Just green screen me, dog.
Got me out here in the snow
for no reason. Just send the cameraman. But the inclement weather isn't just affecting the U.S. It's also affecting Canada.
Many questions remain. Let's see if we can answer them with the help of Andreas Speth. He's an aviation journalist.
And this is from Deutsch World, so her accent is my favorite.
Joins us today from Cape Town. Welcome back to DW, Andreas. Now, first of all, the question everyone is asking, how did this plane end up upside down?
Oh, yeah, I buried the lead here. Sorry.
after the
Yeah,
crash.
you did a little bit.
Life flight 1 minute back, just so you are, there's people outside walking around the aircraft there. Yeah, we've got it. The aircraft there's upside down and burning.
Firefight.
That's the most casual way to say that ever.
I think that might have to go on the soundboard. He said it so casually. You're right. Casual disaster.
The aircraft there's upside down and burning.
Got it.
Firefighters hosed down the burning aeroplane and brought all the 76 passengers and 4 crew members to safety.
So this one was leaving Minneapolis and landing in Toronto.
Yeah,
Airport emergency work.
The someone got like a video of it landing, and what happened I think there was a problem with the landing gear as soon as it hit the tarmac, because the tarmac was covered in snow. So one side of it fell on I think the right side, and then the wing got caught, so it just toppled all the way over, and it was on fire. So that very casual fireman was correct.
Well, here's a Tim. You don't answer. Chat. Where is the fuel stored on planes? Type it in. Do you know? Don't Google it, you cheaters.
Let's see if we can answer them with the help of Andreas Speth. He's an aviation journalist and joins us today from Cape Town. Welcome back to DW, Andreas. Now, first of all, the question everyone is asking, how did this plane end up upside down?
Yeah, that's a good question. We actually do have some video footage from the actual touchdown. And
I saw that footage. It is it's a white plane in a snowstorm. I don't know what everybody was expecting, but it is hard to tell what is happening.
It makes me not want to fly.
I'm driving everywhere.
It seemed everything.
I'm about to pull a Graham and take boats everywhere from now on.
Everything was totally perfectly normal until the moment the aircraft touched down on the runway in Pearson Airport, Toronto, yesterday at around lunchtime, local time. We can see in this video is that the minute the aircraft touches the runway, it kind of spins out of control, veering to the right. And indeed, there had been even warnings by air traffic control to the pilots before landing that there might be strong.
Oh, good for them. They got a shuttle out there because I think it was like 7 degrees or 7 below or some shit when the fucking people got out of the. Because, you're in the plane, you got like a hoodie on, maybe just like a light jacket. And then this motherfucker flip over, you got to go outside? Nah, dog, I can't go.
Gusts coming from the left. And what we can see in the footage actually looks exactly like that. So there were gusts forecast up to.
What's wrong with their fire trucks?
Those are special fire trucks.
Are those the airline ones?
Yeah. Those hold the special foam to put out the fucking jet fuel.
The flame retardant.
50 kilometers per hour, which is not hurricane strength.
What is that, like 2 miles an hour? 50?
But still a lot, especially for an aircraft in such a sensitive moment of touching down.
And yes, chat, you guys all nailed it. No one got the wrong answer.
Yeah. I was going to say the cockpit. I think they store the fuel in the cockpit. Sounds like the right name for that.
Well, I imagine that's where, like, in the luggage area, because my stuff always smells like jet fuel every time I pull it out of there.
And of course, the rest of the weather conditions was also not very favorable because, as we've seen in the coverage from Toronto, there have been lots of drifting snow from earlier snowstorms, so we can expect that more. In this case,
he largely is attributing it to, and we'll see what the final investigation reveals, but without getting too nerdy, when planes go into land, it's always like booty down first. You want to drop down. You don't want to go nose down, or else you're just going to break everything and die. So you got to go down like that. And then there's crosswinds from left to right. Also, when you're landing, you have flaps and drag fins, which spoil your lift so that you don't just maintain your speed and just fucking skyrocket down the runway at 250 miles an hour. They land at 150, which is already really, really fast. So
yeah, and then it's like full air brakes and stop, and you're like, holy shit.
Lurched forward. But those flaps and drag fins are meant to spoil your lift and slow you down so you can have a nice controlled landing. Well, that's air surface that can now help rotate the plane.
Yeah.
So it's just a bad combination. Everybody survived a couple of serious injuries, but everybody made it out safe and sound. Thankfully. Because that's all we need is like more planes falling out of the sky, you know what I mean? Like that's just not great. Is this the right one? Yes. Okay. We're taking a trip, Tim. Somewhere we're going warm.
Ooh, I like warm.
We're going to go to Australia.
Down under.
Down under. I've always wanted to go to Australia, but now I don't know.
We begin tonight with a shocking video of 2 Sydney nurses bragging about killing Israeli patients and threatening to do it again.
Hello, I'm Linton Besser. Welcome to Media Watch. And first, to the moment that finally brought home the true scale of Australia's anti-Semitism crisis.
Eventually you're going to get killed and you're going to go to Jahannam, inshallah. You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital and I sent it to Jahannam.
2 nurses from Sydney's Bankstown Hospital, Ahmad Rashad Nadir and Sarah Abu Lebdeh, captured on video spewing hate and promising not to treat any Israeli who walks through the hospital doors.
Let's say an Israeli.
Listen to the music.
I won't treat them up. It's Palestine's country, not your country, you piece of shit.
So far, there's no evidence patients have been harmed, but the pair was swiftly suspended and police launched...
Oh, questionable obscenity says could be good for the environment if Americans stop flying around and maybe take trains instead. Bright side. I've wanted bullet trains in this country for years.
Yeah,
I would love a bullet train, dude.
The people who run our country's infrastructure don't give a shit about trains.
Like high-speed rail sounds excellent. Because trains are kind of fun. Maybe it's my like internal autism coming out right now, but I enjoy a good train.
I like trains.
Who doesn't like trains?
I wish we had trains to the level that fucking
Japan?
Europe had trains. Or Japan, yeah.
Japan,
like,
you can go from Osaka all the way up to the north, man, without getting off the train.
Yeah.
Great.
Here, like my town has a train station, but not all towns in Connecticut have a train station, which is really rough. Especially if you don't own a car, like you can't get to work or you have to take the buses, which takes forever.
Yeah.
And Connecticut has only recently gotten on board with transit-oriented districts, which is supposed to build infrastructure around train stations so people can get where they're going.
It's almost like they didn't plan this out.
At all.
There's a couple of corridors for Metra, which I used to take all the time to go to back and forth to St. Louis when I want to spend $300 for a flight. A flight that takes literally 45 minutes. Like I spent more time with them making me walk around the airport with my shoes off than I would spend in the air.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. But between Chicago and St. Louis, there's I think 1 or 2 corridors where the train is going like 115.
Right.
Like they have like some where the rail has been upgraded and stuff like that, and it can take the speed. But it's expensive. And well, now everyone's going to stop flying, so maybe we'll get more of that, but I doubt it.
An investigation into the comments as outrage swept the country.
The comments are vile, the footage is sickening, and it is shameful.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would be standing here with 2 staff of the New South Wales health system having said such horrendous things.
Now, I'm playing this for a reason. Like, the whole thing, I'm playing this for a reason.
And made headlines around the world.
Australian hospital examines patient records after nurse claims to have killed Israelis.
Since Hamas's violent incursion into Israel in October 2023 and Israel's merciless crackdown in reply, anti-Semitic attacks have bloomed here in Australia. And it's in that...
Hold on. I just caught that.
Anti-Semitic attacks have bloomed...
Hold on. Brother. Bottom right, brother.
Bottom right.
You gotta learn how to spell.
Yeah, learn. If you're gonna, like, don't first of all, don't do this. Second of all,
do it.
Second of all, if you're gonna learn how to spell.
I don't even know who you're attacking now. Like, I don't. Who's the target? Who knows?
Here in Australia. And it's in that fevered climate the media must take great care to report scrupulously on the troubles, of course, but not inflame them either. And on that score, some in the media have been found wanting.
Well, now.
Here we go.
I'll probably take a kicking for doing this.
Mikey, was
That's
this
former
a ruse?
AFL personality Sam Newman on his podcast, which, to be honest, is a naked attempt to do little more than keep the 79-year-old's fading star from dying altogether. But in one recent episode, his thirst for attention went too far.
We speak to people of interest, and I don't think you could get any more.
Now, I just want to point out one thing. Anti-Semitism is a thing. Not denying that.
And it is bad.
It is bad. Very bad. But the conflation of Israel to Judaism, we don't do that over here. Israel is a country that has a government, that has a military, that has laws that can be criticized. Ain't nobody talking about the Jewish faith. Because we're all atheists around here and you're all crazy to us. Like, we don't care. Like, that's not important. So
Interesting.
Sorry.
Oh, I will say that, like, in my various food truck travels, we've done some like Jewish temples and stuff like that, and I've done, you know, Christian churches too, and you know, everyone wants grilled cheese. The Jews, they don't want bacon, and there's always heavy police presence at Jewish temples, and you never really see that at like Christian churches. Like every time I've done a Jewish temple, there's always been like, and I asked them, I was like, why? Because they're always under threat for something.
Yeah, bomb threats and people threatening to come in and hurt everybody and shit like that. So I get it. Totally get it.
Two people sitting opposite me.
Interesting. Sam, the word you're looking for is foul, because his guests were two avowed neo-Nazis. Thomas Sewell, who led a white supremacist rally in Adelaide just 3 weeks ago, and Blair Cottrell, who took part in this fake beheading back in 2015. And
I'm sorry, what?
Look at these gentlemen. Look at these.
First of all, that mustache that guy has is now ruined forever. And second of all, a what?
Shout out to the horses who look very pretty today. Look at these little horsies.
Supremacist rally in Adelaide just 3 weeks ago, and Blair Cottrell, who took part in this fake beheading back in 2015 and used Sam Newman's 50-odd minute podcast to ventilate a juvenile and obscene worldview.
There's a lot more going on with race than just the colour of skin. It's the way of thinking and behaving. It's the IQ.
I believe that Adolf Hitler was the greatest man of the 20th century.
Oh boy. Oh god. They're talking about like eugenics and shit. These guys are fucking the worst.
Now remember what I just said a couple of minutes ago. Judaism, y'all are good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't shit on Jewish people. We only shit on the murderous IDF. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
We're not these guys. And we've been trying to tell you that these guys exist, and you guys called us those guys. Really? Really?
By the way, these guys believe the same things that Elon Musk believes.
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, for sure. Elon Musk is definitely a eugenics guy.
No.
100%. 100%.
Newman's attempts at pushback were lackluster and tokenistic.
So that's not necessarily hoping that we'll just have a white country. That's hoping that we'll send back people who are here illegally, no matter what skin colour.
At times, he was hopelessly out of his depth.
But what's wrong? What's wrong with Australia being white? What's wrong with that?
You're not from there.
This is a Kanye Alex Jones situation.
Yes.
Where Alex Jones invites Kanye onto the show, and Kanye is all about Hitler.
Yes.
And Alex Jones is completely out of his depth on like what to do about it. And I've never seen Alex Jones so afraid
and
of his
uncomfortable
own guest. Yeah, like it's the same exact situation.
He was even more red than he normally is.
And he was trying to have Kanye like walk back stuff. He's like, "Oh, you like Hitler because you're a designer and Hugo Boss uniforms." And Kanye's like, "No, I really
no." He's like, "Oh, you mean the uniforms? You like you? No, Hitler."
Yeah.
The man.
And he's like, "You don't really mean Hitler, right?" And Kanye's like, "Yeah, no, I do."
No, because it's the you know exactly what the popular opinion that is, because it's just racist.
What?
We're not going to play the worst or even very much of the interview.
I thought about going to dig up that podcast. I was like, I should probably I have to do better about my self-care. Like, I don't need to go watch that.
Yeah, no,
because to do so would be to give these miserable people exactly what they want, which of course Sam Newman failed to grasp. His decision to interview the pair was roundly criticised, including at his old home ground of Geelong. But not by 2GB's Ben Fordham, who took the astounding decision to go on Sam's podcast and tell him he thought it was dinky die.
You were...
What?
It was what? What is wrong with Australia?
British people, can you translate and Canadians, y'all are all part of the monarchy. Can y'all translate what the hell a dinky die is? What the fuck? Is that when you roll a nat 20?
Or is that a 1? Was it a critical fail?
Were cross-examining them, hammering them at times, and essentially getting a message across. Sometimes the best conversations come about when ideas are tested in an environment like that.
Huh?
The idea that white people are better than everybody? Are you dumb or stupid?
Or that Australia should only have white people in it? Like,
their native land, Australia.
Right, exactly. You're all just British prisoners.
Word. Ollie's here. Theo's here. Now you must like the video.
Yes. You got
Sewell and Cottrell and their meagre band of flunkies thrive on media exposure and work hard to slither their way into the spotlight and deliver their talking points. Like in 2016, when Cottrell identified as a racist, not yet enough.
Frequently designated someone regarded as true, but quintessentially Australian or New Zealander.
Oh, Graham's in the chat.
Hello, Graham.
Graham a horn.
Nazi on the ABC.
You're a prominent member of the new wave of Aussie patriots. Why do you think you've seen an increase in support?
And on Sky in 2018.
Are you a voice of the silent majority?
And 7 News that year.
Why are people
Each appearance is met with fierce condemnation, which in turn leads to yet more exposure. And with that comes the opportunity to raise money. Extremism researcher Kaz Ross told us donations to a recent Nazi fundraiser grew dramatically after the round of media attention.
The total amount is now over 35,000 Australian dollars, with funds pouring in from around the country and from sympathetic people overseas.
Yes, we know that this segment risks giving them oxygen too, but we decided it was vital that we show up what's really going on here. Because by appearing on mainstream outlets, these men are trying to launder their views into something palatable to the disenfranchised among us, which Thomas Sewell claims is working.
Now, all the people that are to the right of centre are defending us, even though we're open Nazis, and they're defending us saying,
my God.
Oh,
you got it, Mikey. Mikey, they're doing in America.
Yes.
They have to be stopped. They're doing
but
in
they're not
America.
They're going to take over Asia. They're going to make Asia great again.
Nazis.
Predictably, they...
So, I mean, I think it was Maya Angelou who said, when people tell you who they are, believe them.
Yeah. That kind of stuff is how the really, really, really fascist right now has power in America, because enough people heard them saying that shit and it became normalized, and now we're not allowed to have diversity programs in our country.
Yes.
So these guys, that news reporter is right. Those guys should be taken seriously, and they should be deplatformed.
That's why canceling is a good thing.
Because they're just Nazis.
And again, anti-Semitism is a real thing. Here, this guy tells us more.
Now at 6, dozens of bullets fired in what's believed to be a targeted attack in Miami Beach. A father and son visiting from Israel hit by gunfire because police
attacked. Israelis attacked in Miami.
Say the suspect thought they were Palestinian.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Tonight, one of the attack victims is sharing his horrifying encounter. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten spoke to him in Aventura.
According to police, the suspect told them that he shot at them because he thought that they were Palestinian. I spoke to the son who explained what happened.
That doesn't make it better. Like, why would you confess that? Like, hey, I thought they were Palestinian. I'll be on my way, right?
You're just doing the worst thing. You're just doing the worst thing.
Happened through an interpreter. He also tells me his dad is still very traumatized.
He got the bullet to the shoulder. One of the bullets hit the dad's head, missed the father's head.
With his cousin interpreting, Ari Rabi talks about how he and his dad came under heavy gunfire in Miami Beach.
Some guy thought they were Palestinians, and he just fired shots at them. 17 bullets. Only one bullet hit.
Oh my God.
What are you doing, dude?
It happened Saturday night as Ari and his dad were driving on Alton Road.
You've been charged with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder.
Mordecai Braffman is charged in the case. According to the police report, he told police he saw 2 Palestinians and shot and killed both.
He told the police that he turned himself in.
Damn.
Survived and were not seriously hurt.
This is a mostly worrisome event.
Wilfredo Ruiz is with the Council on American Islamic Relations.
This is a hate crime where someone was randomly...
I don't know. Because everybody's Jewish. Everyone's like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Who's the hate
rough.
on? It's Ashkenazi and Mizrahi Jew. They're 2 separate, families of the same thing, but
attacking people who he thought were Palestinians or Arabs. This was a terrorist act.
He wants to hear from the FBI as well as the mayors of Miami Beach and Miami-Dade.
Good luck.
We need the feds involved.
What feds?
Yeah, what was the FBI going to do?
There's only 6 people that work there now.
They're only concerned with crimes against Christians now.
Right. None of them were Christians, so
yeah.
Let the Lord sort them.
He acted alone.
Is that Fort Lauderdale's fucking weather? Oh my God.
Mikey, imagine if it was
83.
Let's say Tuesday, if it was 80 degrees outside.
Oh my God, I'd have some shorts on, put my little tootsies out in the sun. Oh, because it gives me power.
It's 70 degrees warmer in Fort Lauderdale than it is for you right now.
That should be illegal.
It should be. 70 degrees is a lot. And it's not like a ridiculous amount of distance between you guys either.
I hate this place.
So, was he part of a hate group? We don't know. It is up to the authorities to inform us that.
As for Ari, he's grateful he survived.
Last thing he wants to say is, thank God for life. And a life shouldn't just be taken away from anyone. Doesn't matter who you are, what religion you are.
Now, if people who have been watching the show for a while, I think it was maybe a week or 2 after October 7th in 2023, where a kid in the town next to me was stabbed and killed by his landlord. Because they were Palestinian, and he blamed, I mean, this is a 60, 70 something year old man who rang the doorbell. They opened the door and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he just started stabbing.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
And the mom got really tore up too, and it was like over 30 stabs per person. Like, dude went fucking psycho trying to kill them because they're part of October 7th, even though they just paid you rent on October 1st.
Right.
Like
right.
the connectivity of brain tissue is just not there. But I don't understand what everyone's trying to prove with all of this. But keep your stick on the ice out there.
Or what you are. Your life shouldn't be taken away like that, and you should just live in peace.
Miami Beach police tell me that they're working with the state attorney's office to figure out if this is going to be enhanced to a hate crime. Meanwhile, I reached out to the mayor of Miami-Dade, the mayor of Miami Beach, as well as the FBI. I'm still waiting to hear back. In Aventura, Ted Scouten.
I think CBS News, Miami.
Hey, good luck with the FBI. You won't be hearing back.
No
from them
one's calling
soon.
you back, dude. They're not going to email you back. They're not going to do any of that. Speaking of neo-Nazis, this is a twofer, Tim. You get 2 of your favorite people in one video.
2 of my favorite people. All right.
So surprise, surprise, everybody. But it turns out the top U.S. election security watchdog was.
Oh, and everybody go. Let me see. Tim, can you put the link for Politics Social in there?
Yeah.
In the chat. Thank you.
Is he about to say like that they're going after the FEC?
No.
Forced to stop doing election security work. So let me walk you through this because this is really, really dark. As you all know, after the 2020 election, Trump was claiming fraud, claiming it was stolen from him. And all I want is secure elections. All I want is secure, safe elections. He would say stuff like that all the time. But you and I both know he's got no interest in safe and secure elections. He just wanted the result of him winning. He doesn't care how he got it. That's what he wanted, right? Well, now we're seeing what these guys are up to now that they actually have power, and it's dark. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency has frozen efforts to aid states in securing elections, according to an internal memo viewed by Wired. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency has frozen all of its election security work and is reviewing everything it has done to help state and local officials secure their elections. For the past 8 years, Wired has learned.
Okay. Bad enough already.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's not the place I thought they were going after, but that's still pretty bad.
But now for the what do you make us eat all the time? The pineapple?
Pineapple?
People linked to Trump had. Right? So here, let's start by taking a look at this. Shout out to Cody of some more news. Just listen to what was said.
And you forgot, Tim. We were supposed to wear suits today and have them all be all
I forgot.
To be all disheveled so we could do dystopian news.
Thursday.
We have Landon on Thursday. We have to do it next Tuesday.
Okay, next Tuesday.
Okay.
Leading up to the election.
Oh, we're doing dystopian news. It's a bit. So we're going to dress as news reporters. We probably have flames behind us on the green screen, and we're just going to report the news like normal, but all of it's going to be bad. Because that's all we can do at this point.
Some of these things are quite eye-opening.
More ways than one. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote-counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
Thank you to Elon.
Why would Elon have anything to do with the computers in that state?
He knows those computers, those vote-counting computers. You know, there was also a moment where Rogan said something that was kind of curious. He was telling a story about how Elon...
Dude, fuck Joe Rogan, man. Way to make being a dumbass worse.
Yeah, right?
On election night was on his computer looking at the results, and very, very early on in the night before anybody knew what was happening, Elon closed his laptop and said, "It's done," and walked away. Again, before anybody actually knew what was going on. Okay, all right, we're not done. There's some new gems in here that I have to show you.
What an odd way to say that. To thank Elon Musk because he knew about the vote counting computers.
I want to say something real quick, Tim. about Some More News, and everybody should go subscribe to Some More News. Probably some of the best, like after watching probably 30 episodes of Some More News, he is better than Jon Stewart, and I'm ready to say it. He just is.
I think he might even be better than John Oliver.
Oh, like for sure. Stewart's above Oliver for me.
It's the same kind of show that John Oliver does, where they pick a topic and they sort of go with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the presentation and Cody's style of comedy is more like my favorite kind of comedy.
I think he's closer to our age, maybe, so maybe he resonates better with us. But if you guys aren't subscribed, go subscribe. He's got a small channel with 896K subscribers. But tell him the Ben Podcast Network sent you, and he will say, "Who the fuck is that?"
And I will say, if you want to get a sense for like what Cody feels about things, like watch his episodes on like Ben Shapiro and Elon Musk, because damn.
And this is what I was actually going to say. He does most of his stuff in like one take.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't cut. I was like, yo, this is a long scene. Like he does like 8-minute scenes just reading.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And,
I could never.
And they have a very small writing team and a very like short turnaround on production. Like episodes take like 3 weeks.
Graham Politics Social says he used to work for Cracked along with Jason Pargan, also worth a follow.
Yeah, and his team, Katie, who's also on the show, is from Cracked, and they have I think one of the former Cracked writers on the show too.
That's what we need. We need some crack writers.
Didn't have anything to do with the computers. But okay, it's Trump. Dude says a lot of stuff. Stuff just pours out of his wobbly little mouth. It's hard to know what's true. Do we have anyone who could clarify this?
Okay, I guess so. All right, well, I got mini-me here.
We're in SpaceX and quietly just do whatever we want.
When we're at SpaceX, we just quietly do whatever we want, he said. All right, we're not done.
Holy shit.
What's your assessment? Did this work? Is he going to win?
Yo, that is Chucky.
Yeah, it is. Not for now. No.
I think it's done.
You think it's done?
Yeah.
But not for now.
Huh.
He just said, they'll never know. The kid just said, they'll never know. Elon goes, I think it's done. His kid goes, they'll never know. They'll never know
bro.
what? What'll they never know? This is like when they were in the White House the other day, Elon and Trump, and X was there with them. And X said to Trump,
he named his kid X like a fucking
you're not
moron.
You're not the president, and I want you to leave. It was something along those lines. You're not the president. You're not the real president, and I want you to leave.
Where's the lie?
Age, this is what you need to understand. A kid this age, they kind of copy whatever people around them are saying, whatever their dad is saying, whatever their mom is saying. So when Elon says, I think it's done, and the kid goes, they'll never know. They'll never know what?
Yeah. What could you be talking about?
I
give that kid another microphone. Keep talking, stupid. What else happened? What else do we not know? Tell us what we don't know.
Wait, it gets darker. Ready?
I'm not fluent in child. I'm taking night classes, but did Elon's son just say, at SpaceX, we quietly do whatever we want? And then when Elon said he's confident about the election results, did the child say, they'll never know? Huh. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy guy, nor do I think Elon is smart enough or that anyone could use satellites to hack an election. But that's extremely weird, right? Equally weird that the version of this clip that Tucker Carlson posted abruptly cut all of that out.
Should we help President Trump?
Yeah.
Well, you have. I mean, it looks.
I started this.
I like your
That
laugh.
child is a demon.
That's
Probably.
a laugh of an
I mean, look at where it came from.
honest man.
Hey, it's
Not only did they cut it out, they cut it out in like a very inartful way. They cut it out in a very inartful way. Like, it was very clear there was a hard cut there. Why would you cut that out? Oh boy.
It's like cutting out the Nazi thing before. It's just weird. Like, again, just speculating, but it seems like Elon had perhaps said the words, "they'll never know," to his child in relation to the election, and then Tucker cut out the part where he repeated that. And maybe
it was for time.
Maybe.
It's
Could be
just,
for time.
he only has on Twitter, and there's Elon. I guess he could give him a longer show if he needed it.
It's always very funny when Tucker censors things, because he was always like, only cowards censor things.
Am I really
And, like-
informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you.
Exactly. He did it to Kanye during the Kanye interview where he went like off the rails.
Yeah.
And he's done it a few other times, and like he's done it here. Like, Tucker, you coward!
Bye,
Stop
Ollie.
censoring people.
Ollie's going back to work.
Bye, Ollie.
Check out Ollie with us on Thursday nights for Unbox Politics.
Yes.
Or else.
someone
Or
should
else.
perhaps
They'll find you.
investigate that.
We'll send Starlink to get you.
I got to be honest, in the wake of the election loss,
His microphone's upside down. It's driving me crazy.
I didn't necessarily put much stock in this particular conspiracy about, like, hey, maybe Elon directly got involved and was doing stuff with the vote counting computers, etc. Because that is it's such a difficult undertaking, and I think Elon's a bit of a fucking idiot. Not a bit of an idiot. I think he's just a colossal moron.
He is dumb.
Yeah, he's so dumb.
But there were other variations of this conversation, which I thought were much more interesting. But is this possible? I mean, those clips are weird. Those clips are very, very bizarre, and there's been other ones too. But let's.
So this is Greg Palast, and Greg Palast put this out probably almost a month ago now, about a lot of inconsistencies with votes. And it is his assertion, and it is his research that claims, and the research of different state agencies, that Harris was cheated out of almost 4 million votes. And they're going to describe it here.
Let's dive into the more mainstream issue here, which this is less speculative, less conspiratorial, more based on hard data. And again, keep all this in mind at the same time we're learning, yet again, Donald Trump is basically taking an axe to our election security watchdog, right? That's what he's doing. Now that he has power, he says, I care about, I care about clean elections. I want to make sure everything runs well. I don't want any fraud. He says stuff like that, and then boom. So why are you going after the election security watchdog? Okay, here we go. This is Greg Palast,
really
legendary
informing
journalist Greg Palast.
No, I'm not.
First of all, again, I get the 4,776,706 purged. That's from the United States Elections Assistance Commission. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I
not a
call purged.
multiplier. You're saying
that's not,
that- those are-
that's great. Okay, 317,000 people challenged by these vigilantes. Just so you know.
And what some of those challenges are is like they had set up in multiple districts all over the country where let's say me and Tim are we're neighbors. And then Tim moves away. He moves to California.
Oh, no.
But then
sure.
but then I find out that Tim voted in our election. I would let the election commission know that, hey, this guy doesn't live here. He shouldn't be voting here. That's not fair. He's double voting. He shouldn't be doing that. One guy challenged 4,000 people's votes in just one guy around him. 4,000 votes. And they had those people everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and they made it so easy to do those challenges because of reform to the agency itself. If I recall correctly, they used to not be able to do that. You used to have to like really, work through those filings. But I think there were conservative groups that were putting out lists of voters that you could challenge, and also the filing system became easier because it was online. and one person could challenge 4,000 people.
I have hello, Daily Blase.
Fetch me their soul.
No one calls me Mickey. I know it's a mistake, my friend. I love you.
That came from the group that did the challenges. They proudly announced
Take your air horn.
317,886 voters challenged by August. They were aiming for 2 million. 2.12 million mail-in ballots got disqualified. That's, by the way, if you're wondering, you know who gave me that number? National Petroleum Radio, NPR, which did an analysis, a very good analysis. And by the way, they found this year that rejected ballots, that 13.8%, 1 in 7 mail-in ballots are rejected. Now, whose ballots are they? According to the state of Washington. Again, this isn't Greg Palast coming up with this stuff. The state of Washington did an analysis of mail-in ballots rejected. And again, it's 1 in 7. That you're 400% more likely to have your ballot rejected if you're black than if you're white. That study just came out. It's not 2000.
Well, I mean...
400% is not a large number.
I mean, it's far from absolute zero.
It is far from absolute zero.
6. I wish it were 2006 and all that were gone. Provisional ballots. The United States Elections Assistance Commission, not Greg Palast, says that 42.3%, a lot of numbers here, that's about half, close to half, of all provisional ballots are rejected. So that would be over 1 million ballots thrown in the dumpster. Now, whose ballots? Again, according to the government, your chance of you being shunted to a provisional ballot is 300% more likely if you're black, Hispanic, or Asian American. And how did this happen? We've always had these Jim Crow effects, but why was it worse this year? According to the Brennan Center for Justice at NYU Law School, and they're the best at this stuff, they said that in 30 states, almost all of them red states, 30 states passed laws making it harder for people of color to vote. 30 states.
What? No, I don't see color.
We live in a colorblind society, Mikey.
I mean, Obama was president, right? So I don't know
racism.
I don't know where this is coming from. Like, why would anybody want to disenfranchise black people in this fucking country?
States in the past 4 years passed laws that are targeted at removing black voters. In one case, we did have one judge, thank God, who actually said this is so clearly targeted.
I knew they were going to do that. That's why I voted like 45 times. No, I'm just playing.
Black people, it's got to go. That was in North Carolina. But for the most part, the courts have said states can do what they want. There's no right to vote in the United States Constitution. That's left up to the states. You have no constitutional right to vote, and that's one of the big problems we have.
I mean, these challenges that you described, these vigilante challenges, are just bone-numbingly awful. I mean, it's just it's insane. You lay it all out there in Vigilantes Inc. But what I really wanted to...
Didn't he used to be on TYT or something like that?
Which
this
one?
Mark T guy? His voice.
I think so, yeah.
His voice sounds really familiar.
He sounds familiar. He also sounds like he's got like a radio voice. He sounds like a lot of people.
He's got timbre. He's got timbre in his voice, which I have never been able to maintain for more than a couple of seconds after I wake up. It's like 0. Stop kicking me in the face. And then 30 seconds later, all right, 0, time to get out of bed. Because I'm fucking weird.
To get to, and we get some of it in our chat today, is that these are hard numbers you have. These are not, you're not looking at a small sample size and then multiplying it times some kind of existing understanding about how many.
Right. In some cases, we have to use statistical corrections. And one of the big things I have to do is that there's a lot of, you will notice in all the numbers I gave you, like 4.7 million purged, a couple million challenged, 2 million mail-in ballots disqualified, et cetera. If you add it all up, it's way more than 3.5 million.
But I mean, it's not like Trump said anything like validating this, right? Like that would be, if Trump said something validating this, then maybe we'd have something to worry about.
So everybody go check that out. Vigilantes Inc. America's news compilations that are like
I didn't set
4 or 5 minutes
right.
long.
There we go.
So many times on the campaign trail. Listen to what he said here.
I tell my people, I don't need any votes. We got all the votes we need. I don't need votes. All I want to do is make sure that we guard our vote. It's
during a presidential election.
You got to guard your vote.
You don't want more votes?
No.
You just say I got enough. Has any politician ever said, "Hey guys, don't worry about voting. I already have enough. Thanks though."
So, I can see the strategy behind what Trump is attempting to say. I don't think he means that we have enough votes. If you're looking at this like somewhat logically, perhaps Trump is thinking that he reached his ceiling in the 2020 election with votes. That was the most votes he was ever going to get for a presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way for him to win is to reduce the number of votes his opponent got, because he could never get any more votes than he got in 2020, which is true. He got less votes than he got in 2020. So his strategy turns from, he assumes, or his campaign advisors assumed, whoever those fucking people were, Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon, although he was in prison at the time, they assumed that their strategy should be disenfranchisement rather than trying to get more of their supporters to vote, because they knew that less of their supporters were going to vote, no matter what Trump did or said. So they wanted to disenfranchise Democratic voters. And the way to do that is by fucking with the election.
Guard. We stopped the steal, okay? You know, there's a lot of expressions. I want the vote guarded. I want the steal stopped, because we don't need the votes. We have the votes. We have more votes than we need. What we need, I tell these guys, I tell even RNC, I tell Michael, I tell Laura, I don't care. We have all the votes.
This was one of his go-to talking points. We don't need your vote. We don't need your vote. He would say that all the time on the campaign trail. What a bizarre thing to say if you're trying.
It is bizarre.
Especially when you know your freedom is directly tied to the outcome of this election. You're just like, don't vote. It's all good.
It is a bizarre thing to say, and I think that Trump overheard his, campaign managers talking about that they couldn't get any more votes or something like that.
He
Trump
said he was telling them.
Right, but he says a lot of shit that he doesn't mean.
Yeah, but
he is repeating a talking point poorly that he heard during a campaign meeting. That's what's going on. Trump doesn't.
He walked into a meeting. He walked. They don't have the meetings with him. He just walked in while they were already having the meeting. He's like, "What's that? What'd you say? What'd you say?"
I mean, basically, so I'm reading this book about Trump, about his first term in the presidency, and basically how Trump operates is he picks up on a talking point that someone tells him, and then he parrots it out poorly. So the talking point might have been from his campaign manager, hey, we're not as popular as we were last time around. So we need to find another way to to take Democratic votes or disenfranchise people, because we're not going to get as many votes as we got before. Trump heard that and thought, we have enough votes.
Because he's dumb.
Because he's dumb.
Irish Swede, you've been air horned.
Oh, sweet.
Trying to win an election, bro. Now, you could pawn that off to just Trump riffing and doing what Trump does, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of real, interesting, open questions that I'm seeing here, and the conclusions are staring us in the face, but a lot of people are too fucking afraid to say it, aren't they?
I'm not. Lock him up. Lock him up. Him and Elon, lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up.
Lock him up.
Look, they were the ones telling everybody that Hillary needed to go to jail. Sure. I don't care. Put her ass in jail. You can put Biden in jail, Hunter Biden in jail. You can put Elon. They can all go to jail. We got space. They could all go to Guantanamo Bay since we opening up new locations. They can just go over there. Okay. So there's a Planned Parenthood article I was going to cover. Let's get the start of it.
Oh yeah, the Pope is in the hospital.
Yeah, me and the Pope had the same fucking thing. So if you guys missed the beginning, I'm a little sicky poo. I was falling asleep on the couch yesterday, and I'm a drooler. I'm a big drooler. Like, my pillow is mine. No one else should touch it. Don't even look at it. And I think I was like about to drool, but I was like sitting weird, and I breathed that shit in, and I have been coughing up shit for like the last 30 hours. And I'm exhausted, and I think I didn't get all of it out, so I was sneezing out green shit this morning. So it's a very Pope-like morning over here.
A new investigation in the New York Times finds Planned Parenthood clinics around the country are facing complaints of low quality care and poor morale among employees amid financial strain. The paper reviewed clinical documents and legal filings and also conducted.
Whoa. You can't just be putting that up on the screen, lady. What you doing? Diagrams can't be up there. But if you guys look real quick, it's the New York Times. And if people will remember, I hate the New York Times. I canceled my subscription that the podcast had because I think it was in 2020, we made a concerted effort to start purchasing subscriptions to different news sites because we wanted them to stay around. And we use their reporting a lot to do our show. So we were like, you know what, we'll get a paid subscription so we're not just freeloading. As soon as they came out with the 40 beheaded baby story and that shit got debunked, I pulled every fucking nickel we had out of the fucking New York Times. And I've been on an active I hate the New York Times campaign ever since.
Well, yeah, they've lost the thread since October 7th.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how long, what else did we just take on their word at this point, you know?
Yeah, I think the New York Times got into this. They have Trump derangement syndrome. Like they got on this Trump thing and then they kind of lost the thread after he won the first time.
Yeah.
And like they have shattered credibility. That's their problems. They have shattered credibility. And unfortunately, like all these major newspapers are owned by some billionaire at this point. You know, like the Washington Post and Bezos and a bunch of other newspapers that are like owned by big media conglomerates that don't really care. They're cutting news staff. They're anti-union. So, I mean, New York Times
using AI soon,
right? And they've already been doing that.
Perfect.
It's everything online is fucking clickbait. You ever been to like the New York Times website and you scroll down a bit? Like,
fucking one angry pagan in the chat. Irish Sweet says New York Times sees fascism coming. Well, fam, time to err on the side of tyranny. Like,
CEO of the Planned Parenthood Action Fund and Planned
Mika.
Parenthood Federation of America, Alexis McGill Johnson. Also with us for this conversation is the co-founder and CEO of All In Together,
Jesus Christ.
Lauren Lader. Good
Just
to have
put it
you
in the
both
fucking
with us,
Chiron,
Alexis.
dude.
First of all, tell us what's going on at these clinics across the country and what can be done given the current environment.
Well, thank you, Mika, for having me here and allow me to address this, I think, quite frankly, irresponsible piece of journalism. You know, what? I have such admiration for the workers of Planned Parenthood at the 600 health centers across this country. People who get up every single day, they walk through protesters, they walk through, potential violence, and they see patients who are traveling all across the country.
Oh, shit.
Quite frankly, to get the care that they need in this moment. So they are the heroes here. And what we are seeing now is we are living in a public health crisis, right? I mean, that one that was created by the, first Trump administration. And we are seeing that these folks are trying to provide care in a system that has very inequitable.
I cannot understand for the life of me why they don't just mute everyone else. Because it's Mika. She's doing this. You know, her. I got some paper around here.
What is she shuffling around over there?
Because she's supposed to be fucking paying attention, but she thinks the camera's on her, so she's. Lady, we can't even see you. We just hear your fucking note card scrape. I mean, she's.
I know. It's like a sea of fucking papers are in the background just flying about.
Bunch of paper cranes having an air-to-air combat, dogfighting.
First Trump administration. And we are seeing that these folks are trying to provide care in a system that has very inequitable reimbursement rates. And so the idea that Planned Parenthood is in crisis without the proper context, cherry picking 5.
Hold on, is that a picture of Joe with John Lewis back there?
Yeah, it is.
Boy.
Hey, they were both congressmen at the same time.
Anecdotes out of the 9 million services and patients that they see all of the time across this country in annual visits.
Give her a fucking iPad, will you? She's fucking too loud.
The producer needs to come up to the table and say, "Give me those."
Really felt,
just walk up, snatch them out of her hand, and walk off.
Just like an unwarranted attack.
Well, and then I'd like to take it a step further. Your answer here, pushing back a little bit to this article. What is it about the system as it stands right now that is impacting care? What
she's doing it while she's talking.
I know.
God, or she needs to get rid of the lapel mic.
Yeah.
No more lapel mic for her. She has to hold a microphone.
Either that or do one of those head mics that come down from your forehead. They're like invisible mics.
Do the fucking the what's it called? The Britney Spears with the little tape on the side.
Yeah,
like when you're on stage.
Man. She can't be allowed to have that microphone close to that table. She's just fucking shuffling papers all day.
Because she can't, she's older, so she's leaning down to see. Her lapel is right next to the fucking papers.
Challenges that Planned Parenthood is facing in this political environment.
I like how she's got her Starbucks cup up there. Lady, put it in a Morning Joe mug. Stop brand placement.
Well, I think Planned Parenthood, like all systems, are facing increasing healthcare costs, right? I mean, I think that's the reality across the country.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. God damn it. Sheesh. Take a little peek. Okay, that's good.
And we see 50% of our patients are Medicaid patients. They're insured by Medicaid, which means they are coming and oftentimes getting very crappy reimbursement rates. And I would say the problem is really reimbursement equity as it relates to gender. And fundraising alone cannot close the gap that, that our health centers are experiencing. And so
because a lot of these women don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
Or they can't afford, or even if they do have a health insurance, they don't want to pay their fucking copay, which might be $100, $150 for a lady's checkup, which is mostly what Planned Parenthood does, you assholes, while they're trying to defund and threaten it. I've said this a couple times on the show. The last, I think there's only one left in Missouri. There's only one Planned Parenthood left. And the one that was in the city, that my family members would use would like you had to have an appointment, you had to call first or something like that, like they had to buzz you, like they had a secured metal gate to even get into the parking lot, and then when you got in they checked IDs and there's a lady behind the glass and all that stuff, and then you got to the waiting room. They have all of these security measures because they got bomb threats almost every day. People would shoot the windows out and shit like that. All this because their magic holy book says that it's not allowed, even though the magic holy book puts the recipe for how to do it in there. But
I think the challenge, right, is to ensure that Medicaid reimbursement gets increased. And the real challenge in this administration, right, is the fact that we are potentially under a Medicaid defund as for.
So who do you think that 23% is?
Oh, even evangelical Christians.
It's MAGA.
The evangelical right. All the, all the people that Josh Hawley likes a whole lot.
I fucking hate that guy.
Forecast by the Trump administration and those who are advising him. So we have a lot of concern around what could happen there.
So what is your response, though, in light of all that we've just said, to those who do say that the organization is
Well, they're not going to talk about it. Survey on Planned Parenthood. 67% of Americans want the Trump administration and Congress to make abortion legal or expand abortion rights and access. I don't know if you Americans are aware of this. Everybody else already has it. We're the only ones.
Yeah, and
us in Saudi Arabia.
It's never been more clear that America is an oligarchy than, 70 or 80% of people being for something, but the government's not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's not in the interest of the people running the government to do these sorts of things. So they're just not going to do them. If the wealthy don't want something done, it's not getting done.
Right.
And you could be as populist as you want, but unless you're a populist billionaire, good fucking luck.
JB Pritzker, we're looking at you.
Sometimes prioritizing politics over patients.
So our political dollars are raised in the political, in the political entities, right? And we are all fighting to ensure access for abortion rights. And I'll give you a great example, right? This weekend, right, after the voters in Missouri voted in November, this weekend we were able to provide our first abortions in Missouri. Okay, that was a function of our ability to fight politically and ensure that the care is allowed to be provided. Our healthcare is politicized. And so without engaging in politics, we aren't able to actually engage there.
So, Alexis, I think Americans don't quite.
So when a teenager, or it doesn't have to be a young girl at all. It could be a guy too, because guys can go to Planned Parenthood. If your pee is burning and you didn't have one of my crazy cold brew cappuccinos, you can go to Planned Parenthood and get STD testing for free. I don't know if the medicine's going to be free or whatever, but it's for health. It's a health clinic.
Understand the extent to which we have these healthcare deserts.
And Susan Turpin, who has been on the show a few times, and I've been on their show, used to work for Planned Parenthood, and 3% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortions.
No, get rid of all of it. Get 3%, get rid of all of it.
It's all over the country, and especially in states where abortion has been banned, we've seen just a massive erosion, not just obviously of abortion care, but just basic health care for women in those states. Can you talk a little bit about the services that Planned Parenthood continues to provide, especially in those states? Because I don't think everybody even knows that they're still operating in those places, at great challenge, obviously, to
absolutely
care.
I mean, people come to Planned Parenthood.
Okay, what was that camera angle? What is this?
That is a very bad over-the-shoulder angle. Like, why are you doing that?
This is a morning talk show.
Yeah, you don't need
Why
to
are we
do
doing
that.
the reverses? It's not a movie.
Is, at great challenge, obviously.
If you want just her face, then just do a tight shot on her face. Don't like.
Maybe don't sit them right next to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, people
put them on the opposite sides of Mika.
People come to Planned Parenthood for abortion where they're able to get it, or navigation out of state where they are unable to, but also birth control, family planning, STI testing, gender affirming care, which is also under attack. And, for many communities, Planned Parenthood is the first resort, right? It is the first point of entry into the healthcare system. And so, look, all of the work that we do rests on our ability.
Cameraman, producer, she's talking. I don't want to see her hair.
Where's the guy calling the shots? Why isn't he
who's in the
different angle?
Who's up in the box? Who's up in the box?
Who's in the control room doing this nonsense?
Golly, you got the intern working.
To provide local health care and to also fight for that care, because we know, as I said, it is politicized.
And
so,
they just stay on the shot.
think the thing is that people can do are to support their local, Planned Parenthood.
This is a nightmare.
Parenthood affiliates to ensure that they're getting those resources, and to also be a part of a movement to fight for reimbursement equity, to fight for reestablishing rights that have been lost and are really tragic for communities.
President of Planned Parenthood, Alexis McGill.
All right, so we learned two things from this. Yes. One, Planned Parenthood needs help, and two, someone should take those fucking papers away from Mika.
Right now. We have a contribution from our Lady Phoenix, Lady Brenna. She sent this to me this morning. Given our conversation with Graham on Politics Social yesterday. And I muted it. God damn it.
Voted for Trump. A lot of you know that I made a video recently about a farmer who's taken to TikTok to try and save his family farm. Because his funding for his farm subsidy got cut by the Trump administration. If you don't know that video, it's worth the time to go back and take a look at it on my profile. It's only a couple of videos back. It should give you all the background that you need to know. But I'm here to do a follow-up for a specific reason. But to put it simply, this guy took a farm subsidy that was created by the Biden administration as part of the Inflation Reduction Act and then voted for Trump. And then, of course, Trump gets elected. He creates the Department of Government Efficiency. He puts Elon in charge. And then Elon cuts the funding. And now this guy's farm is in jeopardy. Literally might lose the farm because of his vote. It's got to be the clearest example I've ever seen of point A leads to point B. It is a straight fucking line between this guy's vote and the fact that he's going to lose his farm because of it.
You done winning yet, y'all?
Right?
You done winning yet?
And I thought, for a hot second, I thought this guy might be one of the ones who would get it. One of the ones who you could finally wake up and go, dude, I know you see it. You are now struggling the same way that we told you a lot of Americans would struggle if that man got elected. You are now directly affected by it. Do you see it now? Because if you see it now, what you should really do is reconsider. You should really take a look at this and go, man, we might have fucked up. We might have fucked up. And there could be a lot more people affected. If I'm affected, they might have been right about how many people would be affected.
But they don't do that. As soon as something happens to them, now the whole earth must shift to fix the fact that their life is now misaligned.
Yeah.
I should probably come out publicly and say, hey, they might have been right. We should probably do something to help them fix this problem that we helped to create. I thought for a second, this guy might be able to be reached because it was so clear that he's been affected by the vote he put, by the vote he cast. I thought it would be so clear. I thought there was no way you couldn't reach this guy. And if you could reach this guy, maybe you might start chipping away. Spoiler alert, no. This guy is not willing to do anything.
I like it when people do spoiler alerts.
To admit that this is his problem. He's not willing to do anything to suggest that this is Trump created. He's not willing to throw him or Elon or himself under the bus at all, even though everybody around him can totally see that this is 100% straight line right back to his vote for Trump. He did vote for Trump. I'm not making that up. He says that in his own videos. He also says that he keeps saying the government did this.
The liberal government.
Who's government? You know, I saw a different conversation about this same exact sort of thing. What was it? I think it was the press secretary was talking about, we made cuts to this and this and this because the government is fucked up. And a reporter was like, well, aren't you the government?
Cue the KB.
Right. And they're like, oh no, well, the government this and the government that, and we're cutting government stuff. I was like, but you're the government, right?
You're the press secretary for
who? And she's like, no, that's different. That's
yeah.
We're different than the government, but you are the government.
No, I don't use that name anymore. Stop dead naming me.
As though it's not Trump's administration. Congress didn't do this. The government at large didn't do this. Trump created the Department of Government Efficiency. Trump gave Elon, an unelected billionaire, keys to the kingdom to go in and slash whatever he thought. Him, one person, gets to decide for all of us.
In Elon's defense, he also has a bunch of fucking horny teenagers doing it too. So,
what is and isn't something that we should spend our money on? And that guy decided this guy's farm. He decided this guy's farm does not need this subsidy.
Yeah, fuck this guy's farm. Fuck food.
But we don't need farms.
Who needs farms?
It's wasteful spending. So guess what? You got your farm cut. But it's not the government. It's not some faceless organization. This didn't...
Tons of mice in the chat.
Tons of mice. Tons of Mice is correct. It was Kristi Noem. They were talking about cuts to something, and Kristi Noem was like, yeah, we're cutting the government's wasteful spending. And the reporter was like, aren't you the government, though? Like, you're the secretary of, like, intelligence or something like that. And she's like, oh, yeah, but that's not us. That's the government. And it's like, all right, guys, whatever. You are the government.
And like I said yesterday on Politics Social, they have the House, they have the Senate, they have the judiciary and the presidency. Just go through and write a law.
Yeah.
Make a law. You got the votes. You got majorities and everything. Write the law down. Why won't you use the process that's in place? Because you don't want oversight. And you don't want American people to know what the fuck you're doing.
In fact, I'm going to find that interview because it is wild.
Thank you.
Passively happened to you. You pulled a lever for Trump. You got him elected. He created this stupid ass department just like he said he was going to. And he put that jackass in charge of it. And that guy decided your fucking farm is not worth the money. You did this. You did this.
Well, he needs these guys to lose their farms because the South Africans need somewhere to go. The Afrikaners are being persecuted, Tim. And that's why these motherfuckers need to get off their farm so that these guys can have it.
This to yourself. Trump did this on your behalf. And
if there is any MAGA in here, mark my words, they will take your farms and give it to people from Africa. Just know that.
Elon did it for Trump on your behalf. All of this is you. You should have been able to stand up and been a part of the solution, but you continue to want to be a part of the problem. So all those people who are in your comments who are saying, hey, fuck around and find out. Sorry to hear about your farm, but I'm not really sorry about your farm. I hope you lose your farm. They're justified. But they're not justified just because they're being assholes. Because it's kind of a dick move to sit there and tell somebody who's about to lose their farm, hey, screw you, man.
Hey, dickin' is as dickin' does.
This is who you voted for. But you know what? You know why they're justified? They're justified because of now. They're justified because this has been pointed out. This could not be any clearer. And you still refuse to help us fix it. You still refuse to publicly acknowledge that this was Trump. And it will continue to hit other people, not just you, the same way, which means not only are you going to lose your farm in order to save face, you're going to allow other people to have it happen to them too, even though you now know for a fact that this is real, that we weren't just being alarmists, that we were literally telling you the fucking truth. And you...
I don't know how this guy was saying what I said yesterday while I was saying it. Like, this is from yesterday, and I was saying this yesterday. Like, what the fuck, guy? He was watching, you know what it was? He was watching Politics Social. He just jacked on my shit.
Just don't want to look bad. You don't want to admit your guy is a fucking bad mistake. So when you want to take to the airwaves here on TikTok, when you want to go ahead and make a video and start telling people that it's something else, I'm sure you're probably only 30 seconds away from saying that this was a bad subsidy that Biden created, and that's why you're losing your farm. When you want to do that, just know, we all know. We all know. We not only know that this was your fault, that this is Trump's fault, Elon's fault, we all know none of it was Biden's fault. None of it was our fault. And we fucking tried to tell you. And unlike a lot of people who feel like me, who tried to warn you, I gave you the grace to be able to say, I fucked up.
What, 2 years I think we started giving people warning? 2 years before the election?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years.
I think at 1 year we did the Project 2025 stuff. So
yes.
A whole year for that.
Mm-hmm.
Fix it. And you didn't take it. Plain as day, what happened. Plain as day, what you should have done. And you still won't do it. So you know what? You've earned this. Oh, you're losing your farm? Fuck you. You voted for Trump.
Yeah.
But not all MAGA people are sad. These people are very excited.
Hey, what's your problem, man?
You might want to buckle up because this one's a doozy with
shout out to the end.
Lots of twists and turns. Oklahoma is where we find ourselves.
His beard's looking a little raggedy today. He must be sleepy.
Guy heard a racket outside.
But you know when people put like the pomade and shit in there and that motherfucker be glistening? He'd be showing. I'm like, you must have went to the black barber shop because your beard is on point today, sir. He ain't go today.
Outside, found this white couple inserting themselves into none of their fucking business, telling a guy who had a Mexican flag flying from his truck that if he wasn't going to fly the American flag as well, he can just go ahead and go back to his country.
Look at him with his $10,000 truck and his $15,000 rims.
Be proud to be here. Fly the other flag too.
I got you on camera.
Oh, they jealous because he lifted and he got LEDs and they over here boring as hell. You got that little crazy ass boring truck, you little Dakota.
Give a fuck. I ain't gonna do shit. I'll turn this in, all right?
Turn it in. Welcome to America. Yeah, fuck.
What the hell does that? Okay.
Welcome to America.
What do you want to do?
I ain't gonna do shit. Hey, you touch me. Hey, you touch me. You touch me, man. Hey.
Oh, look, he's got the little bar that drops down so he can the step up bar because he's little.
Hey,
look,
you touch
up.
me. Hey,
Ready?
You touch me. You touch me, man. Hey, I ain't gonna touch you, man. Oh, really? I ain't gonna touch.
And also, I told my wife this because I showed my wife this last night because I torture her. This is one of my favorite phenomenons. So whenever white guys want to appear intimidating, they try to act as black as possible or as ghetto as possible. Whatever,
I've
however you
seen
want to. They always try to get like, "What's up, homie? What's up, homie? What's up?"
I've seen this.
Your name is Jeffrey. Like, calm down, Jeffrey. You're not from the hood. You're not tough. Okay.
Can I tell you something funny that I've discovered about how awkward and white I am?
Yes, please.
So whenever I go to these open mics, you know, there's a pretty good mix of comedians there. There's some black comedians, there's some white comedians, there's Hispanic comedians.
Yeah.
And I was going up on stage and the host was a white comedian, and so like, you know, we did the handshake or whatever. But like when it's a black comedian that I'm like engaging with or a Hispanic comedian, I can never figure out whether to fist bump or handshake.
Just
and I
hug
always
them.
do this.
Just hug them. Just bring it in. Bring it in.
I'm always doing like fucking rock, paper, scissors where it's handshake. I told one of the comedians last night, I was like, I'm too awkward for this.
You could hit them with like this is what the kids do. So when they go in for the fist bump, you hit them with the jellyfish. They're like, ah, and then you go, ooh, 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 and then you do that. And then they kept doing that to me when I was working with teenagers. And I was like, what is this bullshittery that y'all are forcing me to digest? And then like they said, okay, I'm done for real. Even bigger jellyfish. I was like, get out, go.
Tons of Mice says, nothing says hello like a kiss on the cheek. I'm going to start doing that to comedians.
Put your tongue in their ear.
Gauge their reaction.
Hello, Lee. Shout out to Lee in the chat. Lee, there's a rule around here. I just gave you an air horn. That means you have to like the video.
And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Everyone
please.
Subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
Oh, yeah, dude. We're 14 away. So we're almost at that 500. Let's go.
I'm not
every day. Welcome to America. Fly the other flag too, at least. Be proud to be here. Look at how nice you're living.
Yeah, better than you, buddy.
Yeah, seriously, bro.
That's why you're mad.
He wants some LEDs.
That's right, because you're here. If you're so proud of that, go there and see what the you got.
That doesn't mean anything. If
The
you're proud
currency
of what
exchange
you...
would be in their favor.
Yeah, if they took $1,000 back to Mexico, it might be all right.
Hey,
hey,
car, homeboy.
I'm not.
Yeah, homeboy.
Homeboy. I see what you're talking about.
They always try to act hood. You're not hood. I sound like a white guy. I'm aware. But I lived in the hood. So I know how to operate.
I'm in the car.
I didn't give you permission to record me.
Hey.
Don't record me without my permission.
I would have been like, bro, public domain.
You're outside. You're outside.
You're outside, and it's not just me and you. Public domain. That's how filming works.
I have to get your fucking signature. What the fuck?
Hey,
get in your car.
What, man?
Get in your car, homeboy.
Hey, what's your problem, man? I ain't touching you.
Car. Don't record me.
Hey, don't touch me, all right, man?
Record me.
Hey.
Yeah, don't record me.
Don't.
You put your hands on him, I promise you.
Hey, what's she doing?
Oh, her name must start with a K.
What's she doing? What's she doing on her phone?
Corden.
Oh, but you're not.
That, or she's playing an aggressive game of Candy Crush.
Nah, dude, she's on fucking Clash Royale. Like, come on, Agrada.
I ain't gonna put a sense on it, huh?
Get your phone down or I'll get it out your goddamn hand.
Hey, don't, you can't touch it. I'm not touching him, okay? I ain't touching him.
Because you're a snitch.
I ain't a snitch.
Because you're a snitch.
Snitch on what? Are you doing something bad?
Yeah.
Do you know that you're doing something bad?
Also, white people don't use the word snitch regularly, so
she didn't even sound right saying it. She sounded confused.
Don't, you can't touch it. I'm not touching him, okay? I ain't touching him.
Because you're a snitch.
I ain't a snitch.
Because you're a snitch.
I take that back. White people do love snitches, but it's only in Harry Potter. Only in Harry Potter.
Oh.
That's how you don't like it.
You see that?
What? She said they're gonna get what in the what, and they like it. What? You're getting.
Oh.
That's how you don't like it.
You see that?
Oh, she got him there.
Oh man.
Yeah, before me, bitch.
Yeah, I will turn this into a 4-star and I'll find out who you are, alright, man? Alright? I'll find out who you are, alright?
Michael Rubia, R.A.
What a dumbass.
Oh my god.
What a dumbass.
He doxed himself.
That's the difference. A hood motherfucker would never give out their name.
Oh, white people are so dumb sometimes.
Muchas gracias.
He spelled it though.
Bro, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, alright? We got you, alright?
Muchas gracias, tenemos día.
Ah, cállate la verga, güey. Cállate la verga. You.
Speak English, this
Try
is American.
speaking American. It's the only language I understand.
We don't even have our own language.
Yeah, you ain't gonna do shit with
Yeah, because I ain't gonna do shit, man.
Go suck a with that sucker.
Tú también.
What?
Wow. He's very angry that he can do nothing to that person.
He didn't do nothing to you. He just recorded it. You don't want acting out. You don't want having a little boy tantrum. Now, again, everybody, you know what? Fuck it. Let me go. I am sick of you telling me that women are too emotional. Anger is an emotion. Uncontrollable rage is an emotion. These men are emotionally unstable. Just saying. I don't see women running around fucking, hey bro, hey homie, what's up homie? Like what the fuck? I don't see girls doing that. I mean, he's got his little sidekick over there, but you know, Chihuahuas always bark.
Wait. Tú también, wait.
So racism, some come at me bro energy, and then that whole like homophobic bit toward the end there. Although the thing that was my favorite was when the guy said, I'm going to find out who you are. And the guy in the video said,
Michael Rubia, R.A.B.I.E.H.
So by the time I caught wind of this, people had already run up on his Facebook and he was trying to walk it back. We love Hispanic community, but why not?
Oh my God, he has 652 laughs.
Oh my God. But why not fly both flags?
Both flags. Yeah, that's not the calm, coherent energy you had when, again, you inserted yourself in something that was none of your fucking business. So old Big Mike here going through it, but here's the thing. They already knew who he was. Wasn't really anything for me to do. So normally this is the kind of video where I'd probably just move along and say, you got him. There's no real point.
But.
Oh boy.
Let me show you why I didn't. See, this is the comment section from that original video post. And in the comment section, you can see someone said, someone send this to Tizzy Ent on TikTok. He'll make them famous. And to that, there was 7 people who gave it a thumbs up. And there's one laughy emoji. Who thought that this comment was funny?
Can you guess?
I don't
Well,
know.
it would appear that Brittany Newton thought it was funny. And I'll give you one guess who Brittany Newton is.
Phone down or I'll get it out your
Oh
goddamn
no.
Hey, don't, you can't touch it. I'm not touching him, okay? I ain't touching him.
So after they got exposed on social media, they found the video of themselves and were actively commenting and liking and laughing emojiing the thing that they did.
Oh my God.
You gotta love it.
I ain't a snitch. Oh.
Yeah, that's Brittany. And just a hot tip, acting like you don't care about my involvement or laughing it off is a great way to get me involved. And I'm just helping boost this so everyone can see exactly who you are. Everyone in your life, everyone who ever will be in your life, so they know exactly what you're about. But this is not the end of the story. Because separate from this, I had someone send me a screenshot of a comment that someone made on a video on Instagram. The comment reads as follows: "Hell yeah, fly that American flag. If you want to show the Mexican flag, go the fuck back home." And I was like, where's this comment from? And he goes, oh, there's some video on Instagram of this couple yelling at a dude for having a Mexican flag on his truck. And I realize he's describing...
Tells him, I says, of course that's Brittany.
The same video. See, I got the video from Facebook. I'm like, you talk about this video where this happened. He goes, yeah, in Oklahoma. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And this guy left this comment on that. He said, yeah. So I went to the guy's page where he has pictures of himself in the news station where he works. So I made this story post. Only you'll see that I have that crossed out there and that crossed out there. You know why I have that? Because the news station messaged me and said that individual has not worked at K4 for more than a year.
So you over here, you got your old jobs fucking thing up there because you trying to clout chase. You're not even on the news no more, bud. You couldn't get one of the neighbor kids to like get on Photoshop and take out the background if you really like that really close up wrinkly ass crow's feet picture of yourself.
We have asked that he remove any all station branding from his profiles. And then he blocked me. But I bet he doesn't have you blocked. If he hasn't removed any and all station branding, take a screenshot of it and send it to me. But anyway, Brittany, Big Mike, I hope that you learned something from this. I hope you can look at yourselves in that video and say, Jesus, we look like fucking assholes.
And then he kind of wraps it up from there. And I have kind of a cautionary tale. So, ladies, what I want to say to y'all is this. If you are with a guy who is like that, who doesn't value other people's personal space, he's not respectful, he's very aggressive, you need to get out of that relationship. Now. Today. You could save your life. Get out of that relationship. Because he cannot control himself for someone flying a flag on their own fucking vehicle. So when you forget to do something and he blows up, or he drinks too much and he blows up, there is a cemetery full of women who said, I will change him. I'll fix him. I can get him to calm down. He needs to figure that shit out without you being the fucking punching bag. I DJ'd for like 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. And they look like they're like into that, like, you know, bar culture and shit like that. They would be lovey-dovey at first. The couples would be lovey-dovey at first. And then the girl would come in with sunglasses, you know, fucking 10 o'clock at night. She wouldn't take them off. And they're still showing them up at the bar. And then she's left at home and he's got he's talking to all these other girls. And then she comes back and then he acts like everything's normal. And then she comes by herself and she's talking to guys. And then he snaps because he's been cheated on. And now you're in danger, like real danger. If you're ever around dudes like this, and if you're in a relationship with a dude, like, leave. It is not worth it. There is a nerd somewhere who will treat you like a queen. You will have to listen to anime stories or video game stories. This is true, and it is annoying. But they will shower. They will clean up after themselves, and they will respect you, and they won't be a threat to your life. Dudes like that ain't fucking worth it. They ain't fucking worth it. Comments, Tim?
No, I would express the same sentiment that you just did, Mikey, that like that dude is clearly like a toxic motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you know, don't give those people the time of day. Hey, before you go to the wrap up stuff, click that Kristi Noem video.
Oh, right.
And the president had
I don't want
said
to click it because I knew it was going to start playing. Like it does.
Repeatedly that the worst of the worst will be held at Guantanamo. There are a few dozen people there already. I believe they're right now being held in cells formerly used to house terror suspects. So can you give more specifics about who's there right now, what crimes have they committed, and how long you're going to detain them?
So there are several planes that have transported individuals to the base, and they are in the system and the facilities that, a lot of our worst terrorist criminals have been incarcerated for many years. These individuals are the worst of the worst that we pulled off of our streets.
Who are they?
Murderers, rapists. So when I was there, I was able to watch one of the flights landing and them unload about 15 different of these criminals. Those were mainly child pedophiles, those that were out there trafficking children, trafficking.
You said most for all of the groups.
Yeah.
The math ain't mathin'.
Yeah, the math definitely ain't mathin'.
Which is the most?
Drugs, and were pulled off of our streets and put at this facility. So I'm very thankful that they are off the street.
Your concealer looks like shit.
Streets of the United States, and that we have safer communities.
And how long
today.
will they be there? Are they going to be?
They'll be there until we work with arrangements to take them back to their countries where they belong and have consequences dealt with them there. So they will be treated much like many other individuals in this country that are those dangerous criminals that.
There's already women and kids at Guantanamo, by the way.
That don't belong here.
Do they have legal counsel?
They have due process. Everybody has due process. And
no, you strip them of their due process when you send them to Cuba because there's no lawyers there.
Every individual has the right for that. And my job is to make sure we're following the law and every single individual that we're bringing into custody and transporting back to their home country.
So since they're there now, they've already gotten access to legal counsel?
Yeah, they followed all the same process they would with anybody else that has come in through these systems that any administration has done it. Every step is being followed and due diligence being done. Even
the people who were there before those people that we just let free were there for 22 years without a trial.
Right, yeah.
So what are you talking about?
Yeah, the Guantanamo is an extra constitutional
black
place.
site.
Yeah, like due process doesn't exist there. It's there for a reason.
That's why it's off the mainland.
With these individuals that are so dangerous.
You're building tents for a lot more than, how many are there now?
Well, they're putting up tents that will have the capacity to go up to 30,000 people. That's not stood up yet because a lot of our soldiers
big ass motherfucking tent.
Got there received
that's a big
orders.
Concentration of people.
I mean, it's a camp, really.
Yeah.
Almost like a camp concentration. No, that'll never work.
Yeah, it's a big concentration of people, and it seems like they're camping.
Right.
I don't know. We got to workshop that, but
we'll find a name for it.
Just days ago, I think they've been putting up facilities for the last 5 days. So they've got a lot to do yet, but they have the capacity to start taking individuals.
So when I saw those tents, first thing, and I saw the...
See how she's not rustling her fucking papers, Mika? See that, Mika?
She's got a good number of papers on that desk, too. She's not like...
Pictures of you in the tent.
I do hate that they put their fucking phones up there. Like, you take that phone to the fucking toilet. Don't put it on the desk, all right?
The cots.
Right.
The first thing I thought is, how are the worst of the worst, as you and the president described?
And this is Dana Bash. This isn't like, you know what I'm saying, like the hard-hitting journalism. Like, this is the most bland shit possible.
Oh, yeah, it's CNN.
Yeah.
Going to be in those tents. How is that even safe?
Well, we're following all the same standards and procedures that we've always had with our detention centers, whether they're in the United States and now to be utilized here at Guantanamo Bay. So those facilities, I think we need to be really transparent about and make sure that people know what they're like. And we're going to be encouraging.
She looked like she shoot dogs.
Yeah, right?
That's my best insult I can tell somebody. You look like you shoot dogs.
People to continuously, if you're in this country.
There we go. Look, grass.
That looks like a good place to house 30,000 people.
Country illegally, you should go home. You should go back to.
Well, they can't because you have them there.
Right. They can't go home.
So what are you going to do with them when they're there? You see.
Also, a lot of them were like seeking asylum from their homes, if I recall correctly.
It's not like the American government had anything to do with the complete destabilization of Latin America.
Yeah, it's not like the CIA fucked over a ton of Central and South American countries for no particular reason.
We needed cash for fucking Desert Storm, dude. We needed cash.
It's not like the United States goes around funding cartels and terrorist organizations when it suits them. But when those organizations turn on America, suddenly they're the bad guys.
Yeah, Hugo Chavez.
Your home country. Don't wait until we have the opportunity to sweep you up because you have overstayed your orders. You have final removal orders.
Most of those people had appointments.
Yeah.
They were just waiting, but the appointments were taking so long because I can't remember which party it was, but they like started firing immigration judges, and they've been cutting the funding for immigration judges for the last, I don't know, 20 years.
Or you've been committing crimes in our communities. We do not want you here, and you should leave. And many of the countries we've been negotiating with, they've been willing to come to the table and said, yes, we'll take them back.
So there are lots of different.
Can we send the January 6ers to Guantanamo Bay?
Should we? I mean, they've all been forgiven at this point, right?
I'm just saying, fair is fair.
Yeah, that's true. Fair is fair.
They didn't have the camp set up yet. So now that the camp is set up, round their asses up. Well, most of them are back in jail anyway because they're fucking criminals. I think I think I reported it last week. Another lady killed someone in a DUI crash. Maybe we should have left her ass in jail instead of freeing her to go get drunk and fucking kill people.
Yeah.
Different sort of buckets of people, if you will. You're right now talking about, as you say, again, the worst of the worst. People who you say committed crimes, but it's still unclear how. First of all, whether there are 30,000 people who fit that description.
Right, correct.
Are
there? We are going through the process of identifying those.
Shouldn't you do that before you send them there?
Right. Don't you have a process?
No.
Any process?
We're working on the process.
Those that are on our radar. The president.
They have concepts of a process.
Oh, no.
Committed during the campaign that he believed we needed to have mass deportation.
So
we're going after those that have been the violent criminals perpetuating crimes in our communities, also those with final removal orders, and then we'll continue down the priority list.
And will they be held in the tents?
It's potentially, but we're going to keep people safe too. So it depends on how dangerous they are and how they act in these facilities. So we have beds in the United States today that we're using and will continue to use that are ICE detention facilities. But we've got a lot of local law enforcement, a lot of communities and states that want to partner with us too, saying we have facilities.
Not Chicago.
Right, yeah.
Chicago told you to pound sand, baby.
If you would like to partner, and I think that's fantastic because that's really what we need is the federal government working with those local officials because they know where these dangerous criminals are.
I just want to ask you about that before.
Federal government working with, remember that phrase, federal government working with.
Move on. There are reports that ICE is over capacity.
There have been reports, but remember, we're continuously busing people back to Mexico, continuously flying people out of the country and repatriating them back to their. So there's still room, absolutely.
The Lincoln-Riley Act requires you at the DHS to detain individuals who have been charged with but not convicted of nonviolent crimes like theft or shoplifting. ICE, you talked about ICE facilities, it comes and goes, but at some point they're likely to be at capacity. So could those people end up at Guantanamo?
I don't know what the president will decide as far as utilizing it. We want to have the capacity. The facilities will look different.
Exactly.
They certainly will not be used if in these prison systems. We have different camps at Guantanamo Bay, different levels of incarceration. We will have some facilities that will.
Tell me again about the due process. For the incarcerated people. Tell me again about it.
Be up to the same standards as other detention facilities in the United States. And I don't think the president's going to tie his hands on what he needs to do to make sure that America is safe. He truly does believe.
That's why he let the J6ers out, all 221 of them.
Right.
For safety.
And knows that the American people want to be put first for once, and that illegal aliens and criminals should not continue to live without consequences in our country and receive the benefits of.
I know, lock Elon up. We've been trying to tell you.
Being a citizen without making sure that they're doing things the correct way, that nobody is placed above anybody else. All laws apply to everybody equally.
Undocumented.
Except Trump and Musk and Mayor Adams. Who else got away with it?
Immigrants detained in the United States, as you mentioned, have a right to legal counsel and due process. But one of the questions is about whether or not Guantanamo, you have the law on your side to actually use Guantanamo for this purpose. We have seen, obviously we know about the 9/11 detainees there, We also know that when somebody who is trying to get into the United States illegally is interdicted at sea, they've been brought to Guantanamo. I don't believe that people who are...
Hold on, you can't just interdict me at sea. I wasn't going to America. I was looking at the beach, and I was going to take my boat right back. I didn't do it yet.
Already on U.S. soil have been brought to Guantanamo.
No, well, Guantanamo Bay has been used for migrants in the past.
No,
You're right. When they've been coming to the United States, they've been used there.
Are you comfortable that it is legal to bring people who are already on U.S. soil to Guantanamo?
I am, and the president's comfortable with that, and his legal scholars are. And obviously, there'll be people.
Stephen Miller is not a fucking legal scholar. Shut up.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
People that will be critics of that. But we are standing up the operations, believing we have all legal right and authority to do so. And that facility has been used for migrants in the past. The direction that they're flowing and the agreements that we have with their home countries will continue to keep that population changing.
And the president.
Okay, that apparently wasn't the clip I was thinking
No,
about.
it wasn't at all.
I posted a 1-minute clip in the chat that is the clip that I was talking about.
Oh, from the Bulwark. Hello, Stephen and Jan. But Stephen, you have
Fetch me their soul!
It is Mikey, not Mickey.
Oh no.
Republicans were very careful.
But you get 2 air horns, so that means both of you must like the video and subscribe if you're new.
About and worried about the government, particularly unelected people.
Well, we can't trust the government anymore.
Having access to personal data.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You are the government.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, is that the American people now are saying that we have had our personal information shared and out there in the
Elon
public.
Musk has access.
She didn't know that.
But you are,
she didn't know
you
that.
are the government.
She didn't know that Elon had stolen everybody's info. Look, she didn't know
about and worried about the government
because she tried to paint the wrong side of the fence. You know what I mean? Like she didn't.
Yeah.
She missed because she didn't. Oh my God.
Particularly unelected people.
Well, we can't trust the government anymore.
Having access to personal data.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You are the government.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, is that the American people now are saying that we have had our personal information shared and out there in the public.
Elon Musk has access to it.
Yeah, but Elon Musk is part of the administration that is helping us identify where we can find
we can't trust him
savings
it's
and
government.
what we can do. And
why does he need my address and bank account numbers to cut spending for programs? Why does he need my fucking information?
I do not know.
He has gone through the processes to make sure that he has the authority
You're totally
the president has
comfortable with
granted him.
it.
I am today by the work that he's doing by identifying waste, fraud, and abuse. And
that's not your job. Oh, Lord.
His information that he has is looking at programs, not focusing on personal data and information.
So then why does he have it?
Not focusing on it, but he has access to it.
Gosh, shout out to the Bulwark. They're really good too.
Yeah. So that was the clip that I was talking about way back when she was like, "But you are the government."
but that's you. That's you. Black history still goes on even if the Trump administration hates it. So we're gonna listen to a little Fred Hampton. I just lost it. Damn it. I think there's like I think it was this one. Is it this one? No, I don't want a speech collection. There was one, it said that there was like audio defects. Damn it. I see. I click on stuff and then I lose stuff. Yeah, this one. All right, that's it for us. Like the video. We love you guys. Go to patreon.com/thebinpodcast.
1967,
we'll see you next time. See you Thursday.
On the outskirts of Jackson, Mississippi.
Bye.
Stokely Carmichael, who popularized the term Black Power, lashed out against the war in Vietnam. This speech followed just days after an appearance at Nashville, which prompted riots by students at Fisk and Tennessee A&I universities. 3 days after Tougaloo, Carmichael participated in mass rallies of anti-war supporters in New York and San Francisco. Born in Trinidad on July 29, 1941, Carmichael became an American citizen when his parents came to the U.S. and were naturalized. He was still in college in 1960 when the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, was formed. It was SNCC which organized the sit-ins in the South. In 1966, as its leader, Carmichael spent the year transforming the organization toward the concerns of black college students. This speech, given to about 700 students, illustrates the clear division between traditional nonviolent civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King and the more militant leaders coming on the scene. Here the viewer can see Carmichael define America's racial problems. Note particularly his concern with semantics and his use of antithesis to contrast the black and white perspective. Also noteworthy, of course, is his ability to excite and motivate his audience. At one point, he leads the audience in a chant, which, though abbreviated on this tape, lasted 10 minutes. In all, the viewer can witness an example of confrontational rhetoric from the 60s, illustrated by the fiery Stokely Carmichael.
I'm trying to figure out which one belongs to the CIA. Nick, it was once one of the only places we could run to for safety when we started to work in Mississippi in 1961 and 62. So that it's sort of like coming home when we come back to Tougaloo. Now I want you to, before I begin, to take a look at all of the pressmen before you. You will notice that not one of them are black. And they are going to have the nerve tomorrow to call me a racist. Are you hearing me? But we understand how the honkies are. They don't recognize their own racism. I understand that I'm following the great white father, Bobby Kennedy. I understand last night he told you a couple of things. Now I want to put some of them in perspective for you. When he said the world belongs to you, that comes from a great black man by the name of Frederick Douglass. He said the world belongs to the youth. Secondly, I understand that Bobby urged us to stand up and speak out against injustice. Well, we could tell him that we don't need anybody to tell us to stand up anymore. Not only are we going to stand up, we're going to right the wrongs of our people in this generation. Our generation has the memories of the unpunished murders of Swerney, Goodney, and of Medgar Evers. There are going to be no more unpunished murders. They've been telling you that the kids in Nashville started a riot. Number one, you ought to recognize it is not a riot, it is a rebellion. A rebellion. And number two, you ought to be proud of your black brothers and sisters at Fifth, because a honky cop touched one of them and they told him you got to touch all of us.